channel. I am Blake. You all are officially back in my world. So I have a new story time for y'all. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the name this story time. I don't know. I'm just going to hop on in there and just take you on this journey. Here we go. So if you are new to my channel, I am a RN/nurse practitioner. I always say slash because you're never not an RN. Okay. I am taking you back to, I would say, third year, maybe 3.5 years into being a RN. And I know it had to be around this time because I was back from California from traveling outside of Alabama. But coming back to Alabama, I was working part-time at my main job, doing high-risk postpartum and high-risk NICU, well baby nursery, postpartum mother baby stuff. So once I returned, with me also being in school, I just working part-time, which is 2 days a week because I was working 12-hour shifts at night. I began to do something called local nurse traveling. Yes, you can do that. I began to travel around locally to different hospitals around my area. And so this particular hospital, I am going to tell you, because this plays a factor in the story. This particular hospital is a hospital that for the longest time, a lot of, I would say, lower socioeconomic African Americans or lower socioeconomic, really anybody, knew of this hospital, but it was really a myth to them because none of them could go. This hospital was a private hospital. It was a hospital created by doctors for doctors, and it was privately owned. So that meant in order for you to go there, you had to have private insurance. So they didn't take Medicaid, Medicare, any of that. So as you know, if you don't know, Birmingham is a predominantly Black city. There was a lot of people who knew about the hospital, never had the opportunity to go. And the way that this hospital branded themselves when it came to was that this was the place that you come to be treated like you are literally at the Ritz-Carlton. Because with it being a private institution, their goal was to make sure that you felt like you were having a wonderful experience at the hospital. And it really wasn't like a hospital experience. It was like getting away and, taking care of some business, taking care of your mental health, or just getting something done. They didn't want to make it feel like a hospital. They depended on word of mouth. So this time, when you have your baby, we want you to come back the next time and the time after that and the time after that. Or if you need surgery, we want you to tell your friends how wonderful and great this hospital is, how wonderful and caring the nurses are. I mean, they pretty much branded themselves as come here to be treated right like royalty because they needed that type of branding because they needed the private insurers to return to keep the doors open. Now, just for side context, some years ago, that became null and void. Economy all crazy. Certain administrations came in messing with Obamacare, and now they are a public institution, and now everybody gets to go there because they take everything. But at this particular time, I'm telling you, it was a myth. A lot of Black people had never gone there ever. So now that you understand the foundation of that hospital, now I want you to think about the type of people that come to this hospital. And I want you to know, I'm not saying that is a caring. Not everybody is that. Most of the patients were very nice. They were very kind. They were very sweet. But you did have those who were there who have that I'm upper echelon, I'm affluent, and I expect to be treated like the queen that I am mentality. And it was the staff's job to cater to that. When I went through their process of orientation at my institution, which is like high acuity, high level, high risk, everything is about promoting, preventing falls and preventing accidents and, medication infusions. Like everything is about high quality medical care. This place is more like, hey, I want to treat you good. I want to make you feel good. I need you to come back because we need to keep these doors open, and our nurses and everybody here are here to cater to you. And you could tell they had very much that what I call Chick-fil-A, Target, Publix type of disposition, as in the staff, the nurses, the rest of the people that worked in the hospital. They had that type of disposition. No problem. I think we all should have that, quite frankly. So this particular night, no, it was evening because I was 3 to 11. They had this rule, whereas before they put you off on your own. I was there to help extra as a mother baby nurse because they were short, and I signed up extra to work at this particular hospital, and I had to do 2 shadows, which means I had to shadow another regular nurse there before they put me off on my own. So they put me with Beth Ann. Okay, Beth Ann just as sweet as she can be. And we get this admission. So Beth Ann and I go inside of the room. And let me just tell you how the room is set up so you can understand why Beth Ann and I are kind of looking at each other like, When we walk in the room, Mom is in the bed like this with her legs crossed. She just had a baby probably a few hours ago. But, everybody have babies differently. Some people have wonderful vaginal deliveries and they're not in any pain or anything like that. So Sister Girl, and she's going to be Sister Girl throughout this whole conversation. Sister Girl sitting in the bed like this. Her mom and dad is over here on the couch. And baby daddy is at the foot of the bed. And they are Caucasian, okay? So Mom and Dad brought gifts for baby boy because I think he came a little bit earlier than what they thought for the baby shower. So they were like, oh, look what such and such got. And she was like, yeah, that's cute. What about what I told you to bring me? So they were like, oh yeah, we got it. We didn't forget. So baby daddy said, hey, you told them to bring you something too, but I thought you told me. And she said, well, I just want everybody to bring me stuff. I just want it all for myself. So she essentially asked her parents and her boyfriend to bring her a gown because she didn't want to wear the hospital gown. She wanted to have on her own stuff. So Mom and Dad brought out their stuff, and it was a nice regular cotton gown where she could sort of just pull the top down and nurse as she needed to. And so, she was actually kind of moaning and complaining about that dress, about that gown, because the mom was saying, oh, well, that's all they had. I know you described kind of what you wanted. And you were kind of particular about what you wanted, but this is all they had. So we had to settle for what we could get that was close to your liking. I didn't really like that dynamic. I could tell that this girl was a spoiled brat. I could tell that she was young, probably like 19, somewhere between 19, 21-ish. And I could tell that the world was used to revolving around her. So Dad says, well, no need to open mine because they already brought you one. She's like, no, I want you to open it. He like, no, you don't need to open that. Save that for later. So he looks at her and she looks at him, and they have this communication as if they understand. And she's like, nah, I'm going to open it. So Sister Girl opens, and he was like, don't open it. Let's save that for later. So she opens it up, and it's lingerie. And when I say lingerie, y'all, lingerie, it's like a cute little black slip with like a little lace at the top. Nothing overly provocative, but sexy or whatever. And so you could tell that's why he didn't want her to open it. But she was and she knew what was in that box. She just wanted she just didn't care about her parents seeing it. And so Beth Ann is standing there looking like, and all of her energy is saying, pour white trash. You could tell that's what she was saying in her head. You could tell. And so I said to Dad, 6 weeks. Don't you cut, because I'm trying to break the tension. You know, it's a little awkward, a little weird, you know, and I'm like, Daddy, did 6 weeks. And, you know, everybody is laughing and giggling and hee, ha, 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 you know, breaking the tension. And the girl's like, no, I just want something for me. I don't want to be up here and that's gown. I just want to feel beautiful. I just gave birth. I just want to feel good. Beth Ann is with none of this. So the other thing that was weird about this is the setup. When you walk in the room, Daddy is at the foot of the bed. Parents are over here sitting on the sofa that pulls out into a bed. And the baby there up against the wall. Odd, because typically when you are a mom, the baby, a new mom, a first-time mom, your baby's usually right here at the bedside with you. No, he was over there against the wall. So Beth Ann is not with any of this, and Beth Ann lets her politely and professionally know, you can't wear either one of those here. Like, you're definitely not wearing that one, but you can't wear that gown here because it is our policy here that you are in our gown. That's the policy here. And I don't know why you would want to wear your own personal gown, because truth be told, you're bleeding. If you bleed or have some type of accident, you're going to get it on your brand new clothes, your brand new gown. Then your loved ones have to go home and wash it. Like, why are you even doing it? We need to have accessibility to you. If anything happens, we don't need to be having to cut through gowns. Like, you know, this is a hospital. No matter what the branding is, ma'am, this is not the Ritz-Carlton. Okay? So you need to conduct yourself like you in a hospital. But I told you the way this hospital brands itself. And so she was taking full advantage. Beth Ann was like, I told Beth Ann, Beth Ann, look, you go check on the other people. I'm going to finish wrapping up in here, because I could tell Beth Ann wasn't with any of this. So I check on the baby. By the way, she didn't want the mom and the dad to even touch the baby. She said she had just got through breastfeeding. Leave him alone. Let him be over there, because I don't want him to wake up. Okay, so I go over there and I'm unwrapping him because I need to assess him. Don't touch him. I need him to stay asleep because I just got through breastfeeding. I don't want him to wake up. I'm like, girl, first of all, I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. And 2, I don't care anything about that. I have to do my job. Shut up, sister girl. So I unwrap the baby, and then I look at Grandma. I said, Grandma, you want to come over here and help me change his diaper because it's wet? And she knew what I was doing. I was trying to give her an opportunity to love on her grandbaby, because at this time, Sister Girl was acting like everything was about her. Baby up against the wall. Forget the baby gifts. Forget all of that. It's about me. Bring me my gowns. Make me feel good. I want him to stay asleep because I don't want to be bothered. I mean, everything was just real selfish. And everybody was reading this from her, but without saying anything. So Grandma helps me change the baby. I show Grandma how to wrap him back up like little baby burrito Jesus. And, you know, she says to them, I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. Can you all leave now? Okay. So they're like, oh yeah, sure, we understand, we can leave. And then she looks at me and said, and by the way, can you take him to the nursery with you, because I want to go to sleep. I'm tired. So I'm like, okay, well, we have to check to see if some nurses are in the nursery, because there's no like nursery nurse at this hospital. The babies are expected to be at the mom's bedside. But I was going to go check to see if there was somebody in there, because she said all she wanted to do was just get a little nap. Okay. So I take the baby. I go check out. There was somebody in there that said they was willing to watch him for as long as they could. And I took the baby out to the nursery. Came back to the nurse's station, told Beth Ann what happened. Beth Ann was like, hell to the no, no, no. Beth Ann had it up to you. Beth Ann said, no, she's not. Because on a mother-baby unit, our job is to make sure that you are bonding with the baby, that you are feeding the baby, that you are changing the baby. We need to be able to assess these things before we turn you or loose and discharge you with this child. And already, Beth Ann not liking you, and really I'm not either, but Beth Ann really not. So Beth Ann tells me, oh, no, she's going to keep her baby at the bedside because we need to make sure that she is bonding appropriately. So Beth Ann, I told Beth Ann, I said, Beth Ann, you know when you go around there, she gonna have that doggone gown on. So Beth Ann was like, she better not. So I said, Beth Ann, she gonna have that gown on. Watch what I tell you. So Beth Ann go around there. I'm sitting there doing my little documentation. Beth Ann comes back with her face redder than it was when she left. Because she was mad when she left. Her face was redder when she came back. She came back flabbergasted, discombobulated, and every other adjective you could use. Beth Ann was like, and she, and then she, well, Beth Ann, what's wrong? Beth Ann, what's wrong? Beth Ann couldn't speak. Beth Ann pulls the charge nurse to the side, and she's doing this right here. And I'm sitting there going, this trailer park done cussed Beth Ann completely out. That little privileged heifer in there done let Beth Ann have it, and Beth Ann don't know what to do. But this is carrying on just a little bit too long. So eventually, I'm done documenting, and I go over there, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing I know is the charge nurse says to Beth Ann, I want you to go take a 15-minute break. Just go take you a break. Calm down. Let's see if we can navigate and handle this. Okay? So she sends Beth Ann away. And then she looks at me, and then she started grabbing me by my arm the same way Beth Ann grabbed her and pulling me way over there in the corner, in the back to the side. And see, in that moment, the whole African American in me came out. I was like, what's going on? See, what you all don't understand is, when I tell you this was a private hospital, I am the only black face employee and only black face period on that big ass unit. Probably one of only a handful of black people in that whole doggone hospital. And the hospital is not small. It's not that many of us up in there. So when she started pulling me to the side, I'm like, lady, hold up. First of all, I can grab my keys. I can grab my purse. I can get up out of here because I really don't have to be involved in nothing that's going on. You done sent Beth Ann away. Beth Ann can't talk. She flabbergasted. Nobody can tell me. Now you pulling me over here in the corner. No, ma'am, I don't have to know. I don't even have to come back here to work. I can go back to my regular job. I don't want to do this no more because I'm scared. Because I'm like, if something about to pop off, I'm the only black face in the unit. How I know they ain't going to get me first? How I know that? I don't know. She like, I need for you to calm down because I'm going to need your help. You going to need my help? You the charge nurse. What you mean by that? So she proceeds to tell me the drill. And here is the drill. Beth Ann walks up in the room. And when at this hospital, they don't do the tap, tap, tap. They just open the door. They rude up in there. Told you that heifer wasn't gonna have that gown on. She was gonna have her stuff on. Beth Ann walked up in that room. Beth Ann had said, hold up. You need to click off if you are a sensitive soul and have sensitive ears and you real conservative in nature. You need to stop the story right now. Okay, you still here? Let's get it. Beth Ann had said when she opened that door, that old boy had her leg thrown across his shoulder and the other thrown across this one. And he was What? Beth Ann has said that she turns and looks at her and says, "This is a private room. Get out. This is a private room. Get out. You're not supposed to be in here. This is a private room." Beth Ann is like, "You can't do that in here." And the girl is screaming at her. So Beth Ann walks out and slams the door in her own face. And that's why she returns back to the nurse's station, flabbergasted, discombobulated, and red faced, and just can't speak because she is. So when the charge nurse says this to me, I said, "Oh my, oh my, oh my God. What about the girl with the adjacent wall?" The charge nurse goes, "Oh my." And immediately we go charging to the room next to hers, which is not my patient, but I'm supporting. And we just knock on the door and we ask her, we're like, "Hey, are you okay?" She's like, "I'm the charge nurse. We're just checking to see if you're okay." And she's sitting up there with her little bundle of joy, like, "Oh, everything's fine. Everything. You don't have any noise complaints?" "No, everything's fine. Thank you." We're like, "Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus." Because I want you all to understand that this hospital has children on the unit. These women aren't most of these women on here aren't first time moms. They have their mothers times 3, 4, 5. And so there are other smaller, younger siblings up there spending the night because these rooms were huge. They were set up like suites with pull-out beds. So siblings could spend a night along with the parents. Not everybody has babysitters. And it's kids running around, not necessarily running around, but it's kids on the unit going to get snacks. They had a little area for the dads with the armband to walk in with the kids to have all types of juices and snacks for the kids. So they didn't have to bother the nurses for it. They just gave them the code to go in there and get anything that they wanted, being that this was a family environment. What if they had opened that door and a child from next door or across the hall was in the hallway and she opened the door and they up in there? Can you imagine how you would feel as a parent? You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, Beth Ann and I eventually ended up inside of a locked room with the Pixies. And those of you all who in medicine know what the Pixies is where you pull your medications from. There's always in a locked room with only the nurses having a code. So while we were in there pulling our medication, I could tell that Beth Ann is not with me. I'm having to help Beth Ann remember things and the time, because typically as a nurse, you remember at 2:30 you did this, at 4 you did that, at 5 you did that. Beth Ann is remembering nothing when it comes to our documentation, and I'm helping her out along the way because her mind is just blown. And I just say, "Beth Ann, I'm going to help you for the remainder of the shift," because I want you to know this happened around the hour of 3. We were there till 11. And I told her, "I'm going to help you through the rest of the shift. We're going to tag team this, and I'm going to be here to support you and work with you," because I could tell that you're not with me, Beth Ann. You're not with me. And she said, "Is it that obvious?" I said, maybe to others, because we did not spread her business. I said, "Maybe not to others, but to me, because I'm working with you." She said, "Listen, I don't think you understand." I said, "Well, Beth Ann, what happened in that room?" Beth Ann said when she opened the door, the way he was over her, it wasn't like it was this or this. It was like he was over her like this. So the angle that she's walking in from here, all she see is leg and him all like this over her. And it looks as if he has her mouth covered on my side. And it's because she said it was so vigorous. I said, "You thought she was being assaulted?" She said, "I thought he was hurting her." Oh my God. I said, "Oh, Beth." She said, I didn't know. I thought it was just so rough and vigorous, and she just had a baby. And I said, boy, Beth, she wasn't saying anything, no moaning or oohing or ahhing. And she said she wasn't saying a word. She said that's why I thought he had her mouth covered or he was smothering her so she couldn't scream. I said, oh my God. And in that moment, I just hugged her. Because now I'm understanding why she was responding the way she did. In that moment, she thought that girl was being hurt. And you know what she thought she walked in on. And when that helper turned her head to the side like the damn exorcist and started screaming, this is a private room, this is a private room. That's when it kind of kicked that, that's not what's happening. This is consensual. And all of it is just overwhelming to her to receive. So I'm going to tell you, I told that helper. The charge nurse looks at me and is very excited that I am this. You could tell. She was so glad she had one of these on the unit because she really didn't want to deal with that. When she had sent Beth Ann to her 15-minute break, she looked at me. Look, she said, look, I know that you are a guest. I know that you contract. I need your help. Can you help me in this situation? I told her I handled it. Baby, I went around there and I told Sister Girl, I said, let me tell you something. Do you understand that you have caused chaos in this hospital? Well, I don't see why. This is a private room. I said, ma'am, you are in a public hospital. It's a private hospital. True enough, but it's still public in nature. And you signed a contract. You put your John Hancock on paperwork that said that you will follow the rules of their institution. I said you broke the first rule by having on that outfit that she told you were not supposed to have. That's the first rule you broke. The second rule you broke is engaging in sexual activity inside of this hospital. Now, although you didn't know that, let me tell you how bad you are breaking the rules. They are now trying to figure out if they're going to call security and have you and him escorted off this property because the paperwork that you signed said that they have the right to escort you off of this private institution. Well, out of this private institution and off this campus if you break their rules and policy, and you have broken two. I said, let me explain something to you. If they put you out of here, your baby stays. And it is Alabama law that the baby has to be in the hospital a minimum of 48 hours before discharge because we have to make sure that that baby is okay. But legally, we don't have to make sure that you're okay because you broke the rules. So when they put you out, you're not leaving here with your baby. He will be here with us. Oh, no, I'm not leaving my baby. Ma'am, I'm telling you, you are. And there is nothing you can do about it because you signed a paperwork agreeing to it. So try to sue. Try it. It won't work. So the father is like, I am so sorry. He was so shamed. He was so embarrassed because he was really thinking that the whole hospital knew what had happened in the room. And honestly, nobody knew but me, Beth Ann, and the charge nurse at that point because they were still trying to figure out if they was going to report her ass. But I told him, I said, listen, this is what I need you to do. I need you to put back on the hospital gown. Do you have a fresh one? She says, no, I have that one in there. It's still clean. I said, I need for you to put that back on. I'm going to go around here. I'm going to get your baby. And I need for you to focus on being a mother. You need to show these people that you are here and you are focused on nursing your baby, feeding your baby, changing your baby, basically being a mom, and that you're not interested in getting your freak on up in here. Because truth be told, she the one that put him up to that. I don't need anybody to tell me he didn't coerce her into doing that. She coerced him. That's why she told her mama to leave, her daddy to leave, told us to get that baby out the room because when she saw that lingerie, she got more turned on than he did. He brought the lingerie because being a man, he just want to see her in something nice and sexy. And because she said she wanted to feel pretty, he was trying to appease her. But when she saw it, she getting hot in the tail 3 hours after having a baby. She definitely needed to leave on some birth control. So I go get her baby and bring her and put him at her bedside. Not back up against that wall, but at the bedside. Baby, Beth Ann had said that the knees was to the back of her head. And although the bed was locked, it was still hitting the wall.
Amazing!
I bet she got it together. But you know who didn't have it together the rest of the night? Beth Ann. She was through. When we gave report at 11 o'clock, Beth Ann was gone by 11:03. Beth Ann needed a whole 2-week probably vacation after what she saw. That's why I didn't know how to name this video. How? What do you name it? How do you name it? I don't know. Welcome to being a nurse. You say you want to be a nurse. This is what you're going to experience.